Welcome back to another episode on Create One Block. In the last one, we built out this whole massive platform. We have 30,000 stress units. We got mechanical crafters. We got crushing wheels. We made an iron farm that produces actually quite a good amount of iron per hour. And I have upgraded it and fixed it so that it is working as expected. You can see that we now have item vaults under here, and that's because the belts were too slow, dropping out a single iron per thing. So instead, we're doing stacks of whatever 4 or 8 that we mine per thing. And honestly, we can pretty much double the production of this whenever we want to, once we have enough stress units. As you can see, I'm not using these drills or the ones over here really, and we are pretty much at exactly max speed for these crushing wheels, and I've AFK'd a little bit, and we have a ton of iron. So, iron, situated, good, we're done with that. Now we need to, I think, get some lava and some andesite so that we can automate the andesite age. Because at the moment, I mean, we have iron, that's like half of it. The other half is our andesite, and usually, like, you'd be mining and getting andesite, but I don't know if you noticed this, there's no floor, so you can't really mine nothing. So we need to get some andesite. I have already crafted somewhere. So we have a bunch left over, so we can make plenty of andesite tools and items, but we need a bunch of andesite, and the reason we need a bunch of andesite, I totally forgot to say this, is that we need tuff. And we need tuff because we need zinc and copper, both of which are used to make brass, which again, you can't automate any other way. So I really don't know what the best method for this is going to be. Obviously, we have over here our lava dripstone farm, which is actually working really, really well. The issue is that we need copper in order to transport our lava buckets into our basins if we're going to automate it fully. And we, I think, can hold off on full automation while we mess with the tuff production. And then once we're ready, we can fully automate the process later. But I think let's get a pretty basic tuff system maybe over in this area. And something I totally forgot about is that we're in Create 6. We can do some crazy, crazy stuff, mostly talking about chains and these new things called chain conveyors, which are actually pretty affordable now that we have infinite iron and we can kind of infinite make andesite. And so if we make a few of these, I'm gonna do, yeah, let's make 6 total. If we make a few of these, we should be able to power this not with our stupid encased chain drives going all the way across our area like this. Instead, we should be able to chain drive it across, and it'd be way, way nicer to look at. So now that we have this up, I can connect those two, and it is powered by itself. And that looks way, way nicer. So I'm gonna do the same thing over here for our tuff, and one thing I totally forgot is that we're not fully automating andesite just yet, so we may want to do that soon. But for now, I don't think we need to. And I actually lied. I'm gonna, near our lava, automate the tuff over on this side, just because I think it makes more sense. So to start our process, we obviously need our mixers and stuff for the tuff itself. This should be relatively easy. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have our little input belt be like right here or so, and then diagonally up from that, we're gonna have our basins. I want a lot of these so that we can actually make any bit of tuff per second. And then over on this other side, I want to do our output belt, and that'll give us items on the way out. For our input, we need to funnel into it. Instead of a depot, I'm just going to put a block there to prevent any items from flowing out on this side. And then over here, we're going to extend you just a little bit so that we can get a barrel and then a funnel going into that. And over there, we should already see those being dropped out on this side. Perfect. On top of all these, we're going to put in our mixers. I doubt, and it's probably a good thing to test now, I doubt we have all of the power ability in order to run these at all times. So I need one of those things. So let's connect it up to power and see how much stress units we're actually pulling, because I can definitely turn this down a notch or a few if needed. And the great thing for automation is that I can, over on the top, bring our pipes once we get an infinite source of lava so that we can automate it that way. And then with that, I think we're honestly good. All I need to do now is, I guess, get an input, but if we wanted to, we could just throw our stuff here, have it all be picked up, and then we'll be good. But let me extend this just by 1 so we can get our inputs for both of these. And then I think to actually get our tuff, if I put in a bucket of lava, it starts going. Amazing. And automating this once we are able to is going to be really easy, but I kind of just wanted a proof of concept so that I can use some of my remaining brass and, more importantly, probably my remaining copper to get a bunch of pipes and stuff. So we can now grab our remaining bits of that and start working on pipes and tanks and pumps and all that and still be safe. So we now have quite a few pumps or pipes. So let's bring all of these down. And then I'd like the ability to have a mechanical pump. So let's bring that down to the end as well. That's pointing in the correct direction for us. So let's get our fluid tank in. And I suppose all we need now is a lava farm. And I think we have enough lava sources to be able to make a new one. And I think that's worth it. I want, at least for the moment, we're not going to be able to get a full source of infinite lava, so we're going to have to do those types of farms. And I'm thinking instead of having one centralized one, we make little ones for each farm system, so we're not overloading kind of our main one. But I think this is going to work very, very well. One thing I didn't consider was how close to the edge of the world we are. So I suppose we're going to do it in front of our Tuff farm, which maybe was a mistake, but that's okay. And this is going to be relatively simple. I'm just going to make a little grid here, put our cauldrons on top of it, and this is where our lava dripstoning farm bit is going to be. And it's probably an even better thing that I actually AFK'd here, because it would be a silly, goofy maneuver to try to do this without all of the stuff that we already have. And I think with that one, those are all the sources in. I still need to get in our pointed dripstone, but that should be easy peasy. There we go. And now once we connect these two pumps up to power, that should be our lava situation sorted. And I'm honestly, we still have plenty of copper. This is a lot. I thought we were going to have way, way less after doing a little bit of this automation. So I'm very glad that that is not the case. Oh man, and we already have a lava source in that cauldron. Okay, let's hook this up to power. I don't know the best way to do it, but I am going to try to make it look okay. We'll see if I can pull it off. There we go. Our fluid tank is now getting lava in it. And all we need to do now is power our mechanical pump here to the side. Boom, boom. This is working. Let's see this output. Ooh, a good amount of Tuff, as long as we can supply it with enough diorite and andesite. And I think we're low on diorite, if I remember correctly. Yeah, everything else pretty much has andesite in it, but we're low on diorite. If we can supply it with sufficient diorite, we will be good for a little bit. What I want to do while this is going, though, is start decorating this a little bit, because a big platform with stuff is real convenient, but it looks ugly. So I may want to do some little houses and make it like maybe a little village, or I could do skyships. And with the ability to get on one of these and transfer. I don't think we're gonna do that again. That was the scariest thing in the world. But we could transport between skyships through that. Maybe we save that until I don't lose all my items if I fall and die. And maybe we save that for Createaholics Season 2. And instead we do a more basic one with little houses for each of our factories, or maybe just a big old factory building. I guess we'll see. But let me AFK this a little bit so we can get some more copper and zinc for our Tuff. And of course, while we're doing that, I am going to be crushing this stuff. So while I do this, enjoy the slightly drastic cut from me in the past, who is me right now, actually, to me in the future, who will be me speaking soon. All right, goodbye. What in the world are you doing on that roof? I don't know how a mob could have spawned, but it looks like our guys are still in here. We have Martha and Gemma. Oh no. Where's our third guy? Did they get clocked and that's why we spawned roof person? I guess so. Well, anyway, we have made a little bit of designing progress. I know most of my viewers don't care about buildings, and honestly, this one is probably one of the uglier ones that I've ever made. So I've just kind of skipped it. But this is going to be the vibe of the area, I'm thinking, which may mean we need to separate some of these things a little bit, but that's okay. I wasn't planning on keeping this since, you know, these windmills are not staying. But speaking of windmills not staying, we do need stress units from them, and we honestly aren't generating enough to begin with. I have disconnected this because, well, it was too stressy. Oh, I've disconnected our iron farm because, I mean, we're full up on iron, and also we have too many stress units that we're using. So let's look at this. Ooh, 14K, okay. We're actually doing all right, but we need to automate andesite and diorite. I have been manually doing it for a little bit, and we do have quite a bit of zinc and copper, which I'm very happy about. This means that we can, at least for the moment, expand as much as we'd like in terms of copper and brass. And whenever I run out, it will just be a little bit of a manual grind with our iron farm and our cobble gens and converting everything manually. but it's doable. Now though, I think it may be worth maybe setting up over here a diorite and andesite automator, generator, whatever you call it. And almost certainly the best way to do it is with our quartz and cobble setup that we have. And I already have a quartz and andesite generator that produces like 20,000 or something. This guy is always gonna confuse me. That produces like 20,000 of that stuff an hour, which is really good. So I may plunk that in here. The only issue is it's a schematic and it was made in creative, which means it's crazy expensive and pretty much impossible for me, myself, and I to build, since we're gonna need a boatload of crafters. But I suppose there's no time like the right now to get started on it. If for people that don't know, the Create mod has built-in schematics so that you can copy over your Create builds from one world to another, and it's relatively affordable. You obviously need all of the blocks to build the thing. Building the things to build those automated block placement things are relatively simple, and it just makes my life easier so that I don't have to redesign it every single time I build it in a world. I do want to keep this very vanilla though. So there is an ability to place it automatically. I'm not going to do that. I just want to get the material list with the schematics and then use it as kind of a blueprint for me to build by hand. But if we want to build it, it is relatively easy. It's just some dye and paper. What's actually really interesting is that I have yet to see a wandering trader because we are still waiting on the ability to get sugarcane somehow. So I'm still looking out for that. We kind of just gotta hope that it'll get here. But we can get our blue dye, white dye, and then make some light blue. And so the way schematics work is you get a schematic table, and then you can put in your schematic in here. I have a lot of Create 6 stuff, because this is my Create 6 kind of mod pack. But we don't have our thing in this folder, so I need to quickly copy it over. And then once we've done that, we can upload it, and then we have the schematic. It also shows you how big it is, which is really, really nice. And yeah, this thing is a little bit of a chonker, but it lets you rotate it, it lets you move it around as you see fit, so it's pretty nice. This thing is also going to use a boatload of stress units, which may mean we need to get a steam engine or something set up and running, but that'll be a little bit later. But this should now be relatively easy to set up. The only things that are going to be difficult are these things here, which are rotation speed controllers. Those are really quite difficult this day and age because we need precision mechanisms, which are a little bit challenging. This isn't the most complicated thing in the world, but it is something that I would probably like to automate if I'm able to. And it's really relatively simple to automate if we're able to automate it. I have made a little pathway here for a little precision mechanism automation thing. It's just one that I like to do since those steps are pretty intense. And we're going to be needing a lot of precision mechanisms anyway. So it's easier to just make all these things right now instead of doing it later. And the material list isn't too bad really at all. And we don't need to get all of these right now. Some of these are packagers and stuff for Create 6, so we don't need that. And I will explain to you what everything does while we're building it. But for now, let me get some of these resources and then we can get back to building the thing. I should now have all the ingredients that we need and we can now get started. I am going to begin first of all with our line of thingies that we're going to be making, and then we need our deployers on top of these facing downward. 1, 2, 3, like so. We're going to scooch all of these going sideways so that we can see all the filters that we have. That is going to be important for us in a little bit. I guess I'm using andesite casing as scaffolding, which is kind of insane because last episode we were struggling with it. We're going to get our smart chutes up top, little depot there, and then some shafts. I'm going to, for pretty much no reason at all, do a diagonally downward shaft. Oops. And then combine that up. In the back here, we're going to be placing in an item vault. The item vault is going to be used as, it's a really smart design where it's going to transport the items from here all the way back, because in the recipe, we need to do this step 5 separate times. So we need to somehow get the items from here all the way back to here. And the easiest way to do that is with this 3 long item vault. It is the perfect distance. We can use funnels to drop the item back out in front like this, and then another funnel to pick up any items that are there. We do want to grab a list filter though. You know what? We're actually going to not set the filter just yet. I lied to you all. We want to wait until we have an incomplete one so we can set the filter specifically to that, since there is a chance that we don't get a precision mechanism, and if we don't set it to specifically incomplete precision mechanisms, it'll pick those up as well, and we don't want that. So we're going to put up our pickup system, so once we have a precision mechanism, it'll go on this depot and into the barrel here. And then over in the front here, we're going to get in our input chest. Gonna get a smart chute on top of it, and we're gonna need to set all the filters to these. And then we just need to connect everything up to power. This is gonna be relatively easy. It's just a couple gearboxes and encased chain drives. I do need to, again, get back up there. So gotta grab our scaffolding block and let's get going. And I think that is going to be mostly all of it. If we can connect this up to power now, we should be all good. And I'm gonna just do it right here. So if we grab our chain conveyor, I'm hoping it'll reach from this far away. I'm actually not sure about this. Oh, it will. That is working. Everything's going backwards. Incredible. All right, and I think that should now be the correct way. All we need to do is our very, very final input chest here. And this is just gonna drop out onto our belt. We can remove all of our scaffolding. And now I need to get some items to test this, but it should be as simple as setting the filters here for cog, big cog. We're gonna need an iron nugget and a gold sheet, but then once we have that, we should be all good. Filter numero uno, filter numero dos. Making sure I've set this correctly, and then we should just be able to put in all of the items that we want. Let me make a couple more. Oh, my boy, he almost perished. And then we can put in all of our things. Ooh, this is actually a great time to grab one of our incomplete precision mechanisms. Set the filter to allow all. And then put that in there, because we want that to allow all. That would be ideal. And then once we get all of our iron in here, maybe I should upgrade this to a brass funnel since it's so slow. We should, uh-oh, I messed something up. Oh, this was backwards, perfect. I'm glad that was the thing I messed up. There we go, we can see it at least with our one. We have a precision mechanism. Incredible. So now let's do that for all of the other ones. I'm gonna get rid of some of my stuff so I can carry more at a time. But then we should see, maybe once we get a few more cogs, that this is working. There we go. This thing is running at full speed, and we should see soon enough. There we go. Our first bits of precision mechanisms all automated. We have 5. That's actually crazy. And yeah, this is a 20% chance to get something super random. But some of the time it's gold sheets, which we could just put straight back into here if we wish. So I think that's everything. We have 12 precision mechanisms. Holy, that's actually insane. The fact that we have 12 precision mechanisms and no ability to get brass automated is insane. Now that we have all of these, why did I say all like that? But now that we have all of these, we can start building and I guess resource gathering first and foremost for our andesite and diorite farm. So let's get started with it. Well, that was short-lived. We have a big problem. In order to make a lot of the later game things, like a brass funnel or our mechanical crafters, we need something that I haven't really talked about too much. I mean, I've shown it, of course. We need electron tubes. And electron tubes need rose quartz, which needs a lot of redstone. We have our quartz that is automatable relatively easily, but redstone isn't really. You can crush the ores, but there's no way to make those. You can smelt the ores, but there's no way to make those. You can wash crushed raw iron into redstone dust, which would be an interesting strategy, or you can fill cinder flour with a potion of strength. That last one is almost certainly the best. However, it is probably the most expensive to set up. So instead, we might be able to go the crushed raw iron route. The reason for this is because we may be able to make crimsite, which when crushed produces crushed raw iron, and crimsite is used by pressing gravel, iron, and some lava in a press. This is really easy to do. We already have gravel and iron from our iron farm over here. We can convert this iron farm probably into an iron and a redstone farm within the house confines that we have already. I mean, if I just set this up to pick up gravel occasionally, we're good. So this episode is gonna have to make a quick 180 into automating redstone for us so that maybe in the next one we can fully automate tuff and brass, but I think it's worth it. Redstone in and of itself is very useful and is used in a ton of the later game redstone items. So even if we have automated brass and copper, it doesn't really matter because we need redstone to have any of that be useful. So I'm going to do this off the top of my head because I don't really think it matters too much what we're doing efficiency wise in order to make this. But in order to make redstone, we need crushed raw iron, which means we need crimsite. Crimsite can be made with these 3 things in a press. The only thing we don't have currently at the moment being made in this farm is our lava, but that's honestly fine. I bet we can keep our press and basin here and just convert this into making crimsite for us. What we can do for this, I need to grab 2 funnels, but it should be relatively easy to pull off. If we, underneath our cobblestone generator, throw in a depot here, funnel going into the depot, if I can physically manage that, and then a funnel going into this basin, we then have our gravel source. So now all we need from this basin is to input lava from somewhere. This part may be a slight bit of a challenge, but if we come from underneath, we should be able to just hook it up to the bottom. So with our pipes, let's go down under here. And then this, I want to connect up to a lava generator thingy. So I'm going to do this outside of our fully wood house because that's just going to burn it down. And then on top of these pipes, we'll throw in our cauldrons. Currently still poor, so we're only doing a few of these. I'm poor on copper, not on iron. And then we just need to go ahead and I guess we can stone slabby jabby it up. Then we can put in our lava sources all the way across. And I'm hoping this is enough lava. I actually doubt it that it's going to be. Because this thing burns through, it's 100 millibuckets, so a tenth of a lava bucket every press. So we may need to expand that, but that's okay. As this continues, it will start getting more and more items. I do need to set up a quick pump and cog situation here that I did not think about beforehand. So let's connect this to some sort of power. I don't know what the closest one is going to be. Maybe just here. And we could just cog across, and I am going to get some andesite casing because I think I'm going to explode if I fall through a cog somehow. And it's definitely going to make me feel like I'm falling through a cog at all points because this pump pipe that we have here is so scary to walk over. So yeah, we're just going to do that real quick. And now we should be getting lava in here once lava is ready. And then our output is going to be crimsite. I just need a first bit of crimsite so I can set the filter. There we go. Let's go. So that is our first little bit of crimsite. The next thing I would like, can you crushing wheels up? I have never in my life considered trying this, but I don't see why not. I'm thinking we put crushing wheels here, right? We put crushing wheel here. It overstressed. Not helpful. Not one minuscule of a bit. How about we slow this down by 1 cog rotation? It is no longer overstressed. And if maybe, perchance, this goes up, we can then, from up here, have it go over to be washed in our washing area without needing to pay for another crushing wheel. And I'm honestly pretty sure this would be easy. What if we just have a belt going into a crushing wheel? What in the world happens there? Let me get 2 belts. We're gonna learn something new today. That's what this video is about, learning something new, because I'm perplexed. I haven't really ever messed with crushing wheels not being based off of gravity because I just think makes more sense. But like, why not? You know? So we have our belt here. I'm going to somehow put, oh man, that's a tight squeeze for sure. And a scarily tight squeeze. I am going to put a funnel going downward, or that's going upward into the crushing wheels. I still don't know how to power this belt, but we're gonna figure that one out later. Oh, holy guacamole, it works. Does this go up into the crushing wheels? No. Stinky. What if we remove this? Oh, it's gonna work. It's gonna work. Oh, baby, it's gonna work. Okay. Okay. Bear with me. Bear with me. Bear with me. Funnel. Boom. That's going the opposite way that I would like, but that's okay. And then I think if we just have a block over on this side to prevent, once we start moving, to prevent this from going, we're gonna do a shaft. Does that worky? All right, so that's already our crushed iron. Let's throw crimsite in there and we can go into free cam, see what's going on. This is crushing it. It should now be sent up. This funnel is useless. Okay, okay, okay. No worries, no fret, no scaries. That belt thing works. So all we need to do is make sure that for whatever reason this works. So what if we put the funnels here? Let me cop some buckets of lava and we could test it, because that's the main thing that we're missing. So if I put in some lava into here, we're gonna be making our crimsite, and now I'm hoping it gets yeeted up into this funnel, and it looks like it did. Did it? Yeah. Oh, it's working. It's working. Okay, now the last thing we need is to be able to do some hardcore parkour. And then... and then get under here. We have redstone dust being automated. I gotta throw out a bunch of garbage, grab our list filter, add redstone to the list filter, drop that back in there, throw out any other gravel that we picked up along the way, and then try to escape. And it's as easy as that. Okay, but now we can put lava into these things, and maybe I just put them in the cauldrons for easy access. But I can go around here, put lava in all these while simulating that it's actually doing something real. And then we should see this give us redstone. We do see some crushed iron, and the second that turns into redstone, we have 1823 redstone! Let's go! Oh, that's exactly what we wanted. Okay, there we go. I have squeezed in as much as I physically can into here. We have our iron block crafter that's going to be going for the next 40 years. And then whenever we get lava, it is going straight into our system. I can always expand this if I need, and I almost certainly will. But we also have our redstone here, and we have 30. That's 8 buckets of lava gives us 30 redstone. So it is certainly going to take a lot of time in AFKing to get everything that we need for this, but I'm willing to do that. So let me AFK a little bit, get a bunch of redstone, and then we'll finish the andesite and brass. I'm certain of it. Nothing else could go wrong, surely. Quite a bit of AFKing later, we have 524 bits of redstone dust, which is actually a lot? Holy. There we go. That is all of them. Almost 9 stacks, which is really good. That is going to be a stack of those, what's it called? Rose quartz bits, if we had the paper for it. And yeah, you might have heard the wandering trader over there. I've already checked him. No sugarcane trades, unfortunately. So we're still waiting on that. I really don't know what to do. We may have to just start mining that again. I'm gonna real quick make sure I'm not crazy. Ooh, torch flower seeds are pretty good, I think. I don't know if there's any other way to get those, so I appreciate that. But yeah, no sugarcane at all. Incredible. Well, we can always mine the block in case we need it, but I'm hoping we don't. And another thing that I was thinking of, we have a lava farm over there, and this one is filled to the brim. And I could manually run over and put lava in the thing over here, or maybe we get a pipe underneath the area and bring it over to here. I honestly don't know which one would be better, but we have 96 buckets of lava in there. I guess it wouldn't take too long if I went and did it. Fine. You can hear it in the background running now, but we're already back up to 101 plus 23 right there. And I think I've only done 2 passes with 20 buckets total. So we haven't even gone through half of what is stored in our fluid tank there. So I would consider that pretty successful. And in the meantime, let's continue on with building or getting the resources to build this thing here. I really hope this is worth it. I have had to slow down by half speed, the rotation speed on this, and we're still like pretty close to overflowing. We're in the yellow, which is not very good, but at least we're able to run everything. But now, officially, let's get to getting the resources for everything, and I think I'm gonna do just a little voiceover, so you have to hear me talk still. And in this resource gathering montage, I wanted to talk about the last episode where you were flaming me down in the comments for not hobo maxing to the max, specifically with the andesite alloy, because yeah, I've now learned that crafting it is a 2-to-1 ratio of ingredients to andesite alloy, where mixing it is a 1-to-1. So I will do that in the future if I ever need it again. We now have all that automated, but still. And then you also gave me some other good tips for lava, infinite lava sources and all those types of things, so I will implement those, but definitely keep leaving comments because it is helpful for the episodes. But that's all. Let's get back to the world. And with that material gathering, we have maybe everything that we need in here. And as I mentioned, I'm not going to be building this automatically. We're going to be doing it by hand still, but I do need the tutorial. What the heck? Stop. No. You're ugly if you kill me. Ow. Incredible. As I was saying, I do need the tutorial thing to teach me how to build this. And now I'm thinking it's a little bit too far away from over here. So let's bring it way over. And now we can have a little walkway between 2 houses. And I think that'll look good. And there is currently a bug with schematics and no belts showing up anywhere. So what I'm actually thinking, I have a tutorial on how to build this. I don't need this. I need a tutorial. So you can check it out if you're interested. It'll be in the top right of the screen. I can't get there because that'll be continuously going up and to the right. But it's at the top right of the screen if you want to check out the video. I think it's pretty good. And it's only 40 minutes long. So that's how you know it's going to be quick to build and so easy. And I suppose it's time-lapse time. There we go. This thing is now running. I thought that was a person. I got real confused. Let me go sleep real quick and I can show you everything that we've built in this contraption because I haven't really thought of this. For anyone new to the Create mod or the series, this is probably really complicated. And to be fair, it is relatively complicated. Yeah, I don't even know where to start. I guess let's start with our cobblestone generator. So this is kind of the de facto cobblestone gen for pre-Create 6.0, and I'm using it here because it is more compact and was already in the build. So I was like, yeah, you might as well. It is still pretty good. It is, I think, a little bit more client-side lag than the new ones that are just drills. But it isn't too laggy really in general. And it definitely won't be in the world where everything is air, because that is great on the client side. So this cobblestone generator is a little bit wacky. I'm not going to get into the specific details, but basically this generates cobble every tick. You can see that happening there. All of the cobble that gets broken gets dropped out from this funnel because of some cool contraption-based stuff, and then it goes up here. These rotation speed controllers dictate where, oh, this one dictates how quickly this moves back and forth, and it is the perfect amount of time for exactly cobblestone to generate in this tick speed. If we go any faster, no cobblestone will generate, and if we go slower, we'll lose out on rates. This cobblestone then goes up here, gets placed in this barrel as kind of a temporary holding cell. Once this fills up fully, this will turn off and with a threshold switch, turn off our cobblestone gen so it doesn't overflow. We have over here already the generation of our quartz and cobble, but before we get there, the cobble will go down here, get crushed into gravel. The gravel comes back up here, gets crushed into sand, which then goes along the line here and gets haunted into soul sand. The soul sand then gets washed into quartz, which is what we were doing manually this whole time, which then comes up here. That then goes crisscrossing down into the correct crafting recipe to properly make diorite here. And then I forgot a shaft there. But now we have right here our quartz being crafted, andesite being made with diorite and cobble, and then in the item vault here we already have 1,000 diorite. This is insane! People, this is crazy! And for right now, that's all that we have. And I know I want to die in a fire, but I want to at least 10% of the way automate our brass and copper gen. So what I'm gonna do, over here, we have our 2 ingredients. We have lava being generated right there. We can make everything for Tuff, but I don't want to have to keep running back and forth between the 2 farms and putting stuff in there. And we have these things perfectly in the way for us to transport items on. Just like how I can transport myself on it if I wish, and that's where packages come in. I honestly don't know if we can afford them at this very moment, so maybe this is a next episode endeavor, but I want to at least look up how much these things cost. So we're gonna need a packager at a minimum. We're gonna need 2 of these. This isn't that bad. We can buy that right now. And then a frog port. We need 2. But again, not too bad. Let's try and make a couple of those things and get our first Create 6 official, like these are here, but they don't really count. Official Create 6 contraption mechanism, whatever doohickey, set up. Because it really shouldn't be that difficult to do. So first for the packagers, we need some cardboard, which is pulp squished into a thing. Ooh, this is actually a little bit annoying. I don't really have the facilities for donut mixers. I guess I can mix it over there. Bro has been up there all day. Make it a pulp, make it a pulp. Pulp, 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 make it a pulp, 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 pulp. Ah, the plop is done. Thank you, Mr. Plop. We now need to squish plop. Squish plop into flat plop board. Hello, Mr. Flat plop board. Plop 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 plop. Okay, with that, I think we can make our blocks of cardboard. And then our packagers. I don't have anything made for that. Okay, no worries. I actually can't believe how much progress we've made on all of this. Do I need? I don't need. Okay, yeah, let's just make a bunch of them. Might as well. I think we're gonna need that many anyway, kinda. All right, so we have slime, item vault, slime, slatum vault, slatum vault. Oh, I don't have slime. We have our slime. We have our item vault. And then I've honestly forgotten. Oh, andesite alloy. Andesite alloy and a package of frogport. And another thing that we desperately, desperately need are some signs so that we can name our destinations. Since we don't have factory gauges or anything like that, we need a smarter way to do it. I mean, not even that unfortunate. I just need to move this whole doohickey. Oh, which does mean we lose out on a lot of lava. Ooh, that's unfortunate. Wait. I don't need to move you. I can just invert the direction with which this is going. So wise are you now, Batman? And then that means I don't even need to move that. Miracle. Oh, I'm so much smarter than I thought. Okay, we'll pick up the item vault with lava in it. So we can just power it from this way, invert all the U's, call it a day. There we go. This is pretty much empty. We can remove all of you. Oh, and then the beautiful thing. Oh, this is so cool. I am gonna need a 3x3 item vault, but honestly, that's good because that's gonna be our item storage. So we have both of our outputs coming over here. I'm gonna set this one to, let me down, set this one to andesite, and then I'm gonna run and grab some diorite. Let me please jump. It's so scary. It's on the edge of the world. Grab our piece of diorite, set this filter here, and then up here we can grab our packager, which is gonna go right here. That is going to have a frog port right on top of it, and I need to get a little bit taller. Frog port right on top of it. We're gonna call this Tuff. We'll call it Tuff, sure. It's a pretty tough name. And then connect this back up to power. Things seem to be going the correct way. I need to real quick grab some, whoa, why did my voice do that? That was so weird. It was like my vocal cords cut out. I have bad ping, my vocal cords are cutting out. All right, let's grab a few more funnels. I don't think that's enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I forgot how to count. I don't know how many there are. We can try 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, no wonder my voice is cutting out. I'm talking like that the whole time. Beautiful. We have both of those going in there now. I can actually shrinkify you and you. Those are now connected up to power. Okay, I think we are ready to rumble here. The only issue is we don't have any output, and that is quite the dilemma. I ain't gonna lie to you. So we are gonna have to go underneath to do that. But honestly, I'm not bothering with that. I can do that in a minute. But over on this side now, we can, I think, in a very similar manner, do evil. What the heck? Idiot. I'm gonna do a quick sweep for creepers, because if there are creepers and it blows up my stuff, I'm gonna cry. I think forever. I think that's allowed. Yeah, we're good. No creepers here. And for this, I'm gonna use my signs of the packager. This is going to be sent to Tuff, and then Frog Boy on top. Send packages. Incredible. I need a lever, and then we're done. Lever enabled. This bad boy is going. Let's follow it to its destination. It should be right here. Dinner! That's our diorite. We got andesite. It's automated. Oh, this is hype. Oh, baby. This is so epic. Yeah, as I mentioned, we don't have an output, but that's not a problem. We'll fix it at some point. The problem is, oh shoot, I didn't really consider this. So to get the smart chutes that I need for output, since, oh, I guess I could use brass funnels instead. Those are cheaper. They do still require brass, but it's certainly cheaper. We're gonna quickly make an output, and then we're gonna cut to the finished product with an automated Tuff collection system that will, at one day, it'll be cooler than what it is right now, but one day it'll be fully working. But for now, you're gonna have to, let me throw this in there. There we go. It is all set up now, and we have already lost all our lava, but we have quite a bit of Tuff. I've already grinded down some of it so that we could get enough copper to finish off the little bits that we needed, but we have plenty of copper and zinc now. We could probably expand this lava thing to much, much larger, and it would just speed up the process. So overall, very pleased with how this turned out. I think this is working great, and we have made a ton of progress in this episode. We built this little house around our iron farm. We built a precision mechanism farm over there that we will hook up to stuff later. We built our Tuff farm that is now fully automated, and we built this andesite and diorite farm that produces 20,000 an hour insane amounts, 28,000 to 35,000 something amount. It's absolutely insane. So if you like this video, be sure to like it. There's a thing called hype. I think if you swipe over in the comments, if you're on mobile, you can hype a video. I don't know how to do it on desktop. It's kind of weird, but be sure to hype up the video. Watch my other videos if you liked this one, and I will see you all in the next one. Have a good one. Peace.